Welcome back to another monotone narration of my cooking video where we're making brötchen today, or I'll make it, whatever. What we're going to need are 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast, 1 tablespoon of white sugar, 2.5 cups of warm water, but for the illustrative purposes here, I've got a 1/4 cup, that's about 110 degrees that I pour in to make sure that my yeast is active. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of shortening, 2 tablespoons of salt, which I already have in the flour, 7 cups of bread flour, 3 egg whites that are stiffly beaten. And we are going to start mixing everything together. Once we've combined most of the dry ingredients, about 3 cups of flour with our 2.25 cup of warm water, we're going to start mixing it on low. We don't want it to get too crazy yet, we just want to incorporate all the ingredients with the water. After we get a good incorporation there, we're going to start folding in the egg whites. But first, let's blend in our shortening. Blending, 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 blending. Lots of elbow. Enjoy my elbow. You're going to see it a lot in this. Now we're folding in the egg whites gently. We don't want to do it too fast because we want to keep it in there just nice and easy. We don't want it to break up. We want to have a lot of aeration in this dough. You'll know why after you taste it. I'm going to start to add flour in about another cup at a time until we've used up the remainder of the 7 cups that we had to start with. You want to do this gradually, incorporate it well, make sure it doesn't get shaggy on you. What you want to see is it start to pull away from the side, and that's how you know you've got a proper fold on it. So little by little, keep doing this. I think I'm just doing a cup at a time, incorporating it, wash, rinse, repeat. Eventually, at a point, it starts to splatter, so I put up a shield over top of the mixer. Right now I think I have about 5 or 6 cups of flour in there. I might have 1 cup remaining in the thing. Oh, there it goes, splattering, and there's my little splatter guard, so enjoy that. So it's starting to form a ball, which is good, which is what we want. So I'm going to continue a little bit to kind of knead it inside of with the dough hook, and then I'm also going to lay it out and knead it by hand. I just want to make sure that it's got the right feel to it. So to kill a little bit of the dead space that we have while I'm doing my very monotone narration, I've got a new job, which is kind of awesome. It's taken up a lot of my time, so it's actually taken me a couple weeks to even be able to get to do the editing on that, which is not necessarily bad. Oh, look at me making a rookie mistake, leaving my ring and leaving my watch on. Lovely, isn't it? So here, I'm not a pastry chef. I'm not a normal bread maker. So if the technique is wrong, whatever. It works. It makes it happy. What you really want to do is keep kneading this and folding it until it's got like an elastic feel. You should be able to push it down and it should pull right back. That's what we want. I think I kneaded this by hand for about 6 minutes after 2 or 3 minutes inside of the electric mixer with the dough hook. So if you have a lot of frustration, this is a great way to take it out. It's actually very soothing, very relaxing, and the end product is going to be great. So now I'm getting ready to put it inside of a bowl for its first proof. The first proof is going to be about an hour. So I've got a little bit of olive oil that I poured into a bowl, and I'm going to rub the sides to make sure it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to roll that little dough ball, get it nice and coated. I think I may have added a little extra on top just to make sure that it wouldn't stick to the plastic. And then I tucked it away into a warm place inside of my house for about a good hour. Oh yeah, look at that. A little bit more. Rub it on. Make the dough nice and heavy. Then cover it up and let it sit for about an hour. So after this first hour, all we're going to do is punch it down, deflate it. We're going to roll it back into a ball, and we're going to let it sit again for another 40 minutes. Look at all that air coming out of it. That's a really good sign. You want that. This dough is going to make your roll incredibly fluffy on the inside. It's going to have a nice pull to it, but it's also going to have a nice crisp crust to it, which is going to be very, very good. That's what you want with these kind of rolls. So again, proof number 2, get it ready, set it aside for about a good 40 minutes, and then come back to it. Alright, here we go. We're getting ready to roll it out into, wait for it, you guessed it, rolls. So you see my baking sheet up there, it's lightly greased with more vegetable shortening. Now I'm going to cut it out to about 24 equal pieces. Not exact pieces, doesn't really matter because I'm not doing it professionally, I'm just doing it for fun. So I've got a very, 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 very sharp knife that I sharpened right before I started cutting the dough because I want it to go right through and not have any extra pull to it. So time to fast forward like crazy because this is actually a pretty time-consuming part, but again, we're doing 24 rolls, there's no right or wrong technique, just make it look round, make it look pretty. That's all you're really going to care about. Try to have some uniformity about it, but it doesn't have to be exact. Time for awkward silence and music. Enjoy. Alright, so there's no awkward silence, but what I did do was allow the Brötchen to proof for about 40 minutes. And I'm covering it with 1 egg white and 2 tablespoons of cold milk, beaten vigorously and then brushed on top. After I've got it brushed on top, we are going to use a knife and make some slits in it. Right now, if I haven't said it already, I'm going to say it again. The oven is preheated at 425 degrees, in which we are going to cook it for 20 minutes. We are going to have a pan at the very bottom, and we're going to throw some ice cubes on top, about 1 cup. And that's going to help the bread steam and cook. After everything's brushed and ready to go, we are going to take our knife and make long slits across the length of the roll. And then optionally, you can do what I do and put a little bit of kosher salt just on top, just for extra aesthetics, a little bit of extra saltiness, and yeah, that's about it. Right, now that it's all cut up, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on top. Again, if you don't want to do it, perfectly fine, no big deal. That's between you, God, and whoever you're serving. Now go put the ice in at the bottom. You're going to hear that sizzle, shove it in, cook it for 20 minutes, bring it out. You want to touch the top and make sure it's nice and hard, but not burnt. And that's exactly what you want. Enjoy it. Guys, I'd like to thank you for tuning in again, and with that, I'll say guten Appetit.